Welcome, everyone, to WTN Wrestling Talk Now. It's my privilege and honor to interview the two founders of Live Wrestling Auction, JF and Joe. Welcome, guys.
How are you, sir?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How's everything?
Good.
Doing great. Happy to be here. Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm good, Mr. Firestorm. Thank you. Happy to be here as well. It's a pleasure for us, Big Red.
When I asked you guys to do this, I was really nervous for you guys to say no, you're busy, whatever. But you guys said yes. I was like, all right, let's plan a date, and we did it quite quickly, and thrilled.
Sure, let's do this. Why not? It's good. It's good for the business.
It's good for the
business. Do something else than just regular auctions and selling stuff. So we're happy to be here, man. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you very
much.
I
want to start with when did you guys start watching wrestling? I know you guys don't watch the product now, which is understandable for many reasons. But when you started watching it, when was it?
You want to start, Joe?
Sure. Oh my God. Looking back, the year was 1987. If I remember correctly, it was quite a few years ago. But I just remember watching wrestling on Saturday mornings. My grandfather was a huge wrestling fan. He, everything from Dino Bravo to the Rougeau brothers to Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. He would always tune in on Saturday mornings, and I remember we used to go there when I was like probably 2 or 3 years old for breakfast, and I would stay a little longer, and he would be there, and pretty much watching this Saturday morning wrestling, and I would when I would look at those guys get in the ring, like going through those stairs and getting in the ring, I'd say, man, is that a human being or what? And I was like 3 years old. I was astonished looking at guys like Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan back then, And from there on, I got my first LJN figure a few months after that, and that's it. I was hooked since then, man. Since like I would probably say like 2 or 3 years old. So you're looking like over 30 years ago. So that's
cool.
How it all started.
And the UJF?
I was a bit like not a teenager, but I was like maybe around more 9 or 10 years old when I started watching wrestling. It was just a bit prior to WrestleMania 3 because I can remember the Piper's Pit with Andre and Hogan. They were teasing WrestleMania 3 and all that. I got hooked with the Saturday night main events and the Hogan cartoon wrestlings and all of that. So I was around 8, 9, or 10 years old. I figure, yeah.
And do you guys have like a moment that got hooked, or it was just like as soon as you saw it, it was like, I love it?
I think for me, is as soon as I saw it, I loved it. I loved the characters. I loved those beautiful bright lights, the ring, the crowd going nuts. It was just an instant hook. There was no moment like, for example, when Hogan slammed Andre or. Pretty much seeing the Macho Man or Ultimate Warrior come out for the first time. It really wasn't. It was just really the whole ambiance and the whole look of it. I think really got me glued to that TV. Day in, day out, and week in and week out for me.
And Jeff?
I was maybe a collector before a wrestling fan because.
Did the opposite.
The opposite. Because back in the days, I was hooked on those Saturday morning cartoons, the Hogan Rock and Wrestling, and all those LJN figures that came out. I was buying them with my dad, and all of a sudden, in the back of the card, I was pointing at my dad. Who's that Greg Valentine and who's Brutus Beefcake? They're not on the cartoon show. And my dad actually told me that these guys were real wrestlers, and then I said, well, let's watch it. And the rest is history. Like I got hooked on Saturday night main events, like I said, and onto that point. I kept collecting, and I still have all those figures up to this day.
Yeah. And for those who haven't been in your collection, I told you this before, JF. You can make a museum, 5 piastres chaque. Huh?
Yeah. All right, I'll remember that next time you swing by.
It's your
$5.
it's your retirement plan right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I know that JF used to wrestle, right?
Yeah. I used to wrestle. My career ended like in 2012, but started a while back in 1997. I wrestled for 15 years all over Quebec and Ontario, mostly. Yeah.
And Joe, did you wrestle, or were you in the scene?
I was in the scene for quite a few years, several years. I never reached the heights like JF though. That's for sure. But I was there. I actually met obviously JF through wrestling, and it's funny because I broke into the business in 2003. And what's funny is that he was already 5 or 6 years into the business and already a main event guy at the promotion that he was working for, and he saw something in me. He saw a look, and he saw potential, and he actually, not many people know this, but he actually took me under his wing and showed me a lot of psychology, wrestling holds, moves, how to really get a crowd going. And so I don't know if there's not a lot of people that know that, to be honest.
Thank you, Joe. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, well, you don't forget when you first break into the business, I guess, how you broke in. So that's true. Not a lot of people know that. So
I'm just pulling your leg. I remember.
Of course, I hope so. So,
did you guys, talking about that, did you guys ever have like a match against each other?
No,
never.
No, I was too low on the card. On the card.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish, though. I wish.
That would be cool.
Well, I probably would have eaten 1,000 chops in the match, but I mean, that's that's the price you pay when you want to hang around with the elites. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, maybe just one chop, but it would hurt like 1,000.
Oh, I felt them already. So.
What made you guys stop? Was there like an injury, or you saw it was not going anywhere? Was there like a time that you guys said, you know what?
It was time, because there were like too many promotions. Okay. The product was okay back in the days, but you had to go further and to go south to make money. So it's about money as well. So I had a good character, Firestorm.
Yeah.
With the face paint, and I was breathing fire. Had my torch and everything.
Did you really breathe fire?
Yeah. And I was able like to sell my merchandise, and that was cool. That was the cool thing to do back in the day. You had your shirt, your caps, and your 8x10s and all that stuff, and that was fun. And since my character was really over, well, I was selling a lot of merchandise. That was cool. And I had to stop in 2012 because of an injury. I broke. I didn't broke my knee, but I did like Bambi. My legs went like this,
Oh.
I figured that it was time to stop. After 15 years of wrestling and 15 titles, I said to myself, 15 is a good number. Let's stop it there.
Yeah.
A title per year.
A title.
You can say that.
When did you guys start collecting?
Oh my God.
We have time. We're live.
Well, I already told it. It was a bit before I got hooked to wrestling. So I got all the LJNs by that time, and after that, I collected a bit of everything. When the internet exploded with eBay and all that stuff, it was really easy to collect. But Joe has quite an interesting story about that.
Yeah, that's why I was I reacted very strongly to that question. So, well, I mean, as you know, Big Red, I mentioned to you that JF and I met, back in the heyday of the indie wrestling out here in Montreal, and so I mean, I was pursuing other things over the last 10 to 12 years, 15 years, and I mean, I've always loved wrestling. It's always been a passion of mine. It's always lived deep down inside, and so I just wanted to collect some things here and there, a couple of maybe some DVDs and VHS and a few things here and there, not like what you see behind me today, that's for sure. But so I remember a funny story. I remember seeing an advertisement on Kijiji, and guy by the name of Jean-Francois was selling a huge lot of like DVDs and VHS. Yeah. So, but obviously it just didn't click at the time. It didn't click. So I said, wow. And I said, hey, this guy is like, around the area, around the corner. He did, let's go check this out. So, he's messaging me back and forth. I have no idea who it is, So
because we're both in the same neighborhood, Jonathan.
Yeah, that's it.
It was easy for him to reach out. And I had like two guys reaching out the same day. That DVD lot, I had the guy called Jean from Marien, and I had Joe from RDP, and I said to both guys, well, the first that comes and knock on my door will get it. And who showed up?
So obviously, I mean, I saw, checked by the area where he was. It was very close to where I am, and so I hop in the car. I go to the house, and I had a hard time finding a house at first. I mean, it was towards the end of the neighborhood, so I knock on the door, ring the door off, whatever. So he opens the door, and I'm like, this. I'm like, no way, And he's like, are you serious? He's like, have I been speaking to you the whole time on Kijiji? I'm like, I think so. I'm like, my God, man, it's been years. How you been? And we just hit it off from there and started talking. And he was telling me that he had just quit. This is like back in 2013, so it was like a year that JF had quit or had left the business at that time. So we were talking, and he was telling me all these stories, and so then I said to him,
it was a few years before that since we saw each other, because I was wrestling mostly in Ontario.
Yeah, I mean, he was out in Ontario, and it was at least I would say 6 or 7 years since we had touched base, at least something
absolutely.
like that. So we start talking and back and forth, and I said, that's cool. I said, I'm so happy about the DVDs. It's I'm collecting this now, and I said, are you a wrestling collector? Do you have anything else that you have for sale? And he looks at me with just a smirk on his face, and he says, follow me, come down the stairs. And so I see this big cabin, and I said, what is that? Is that a garage? Where the hell? Where am I going here? So he opens the door, and it was the first time I had ever witnessed seeing the firehouse in my life. And when I saw that, Big Red, when I saw that, I was like,
I know.
Is this for real? Like where am I here? Am I in outer space? Nothing was for sale. Of course not. It's his collection. He just wanted to show me what he had. I had never seen anything like that in my life, and I've seen some action figures over the years and some collections here and there. And the minute I saw that, I said to myself, I gotta have that. I gotta have maybe not something close to that or as big as that, but something like that, and that's where I got hooked. And the rest is history. We became really close over the years, and we're running a page together. We're so proud about that today. So but I never forget the first time I saw the firehouse. That was just like, are you serious?
That's like 8 years ago, Jonathan. You saw the firehouse maybe for your first time last year. Yeah, and I bought a lot of things since then. So, and it's still growing.
Yeah.
For those who haven't,
it's growing so much that I had to find a second man cave, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm in the basement of the house.
Really? That's your basement?
You can see stuff behind me. I'm in the basement right now. I'm not even in the firehouse.
I just thought, he's moved things around.
No.
the first time I went to that place, and I came home, I told my wife that we have a problem.
I need a garage.
I need a bigger garage. Yeah. Talking about your page, how did the page start? Excuse me.
Well, the page started not that long ago, because previously we were with another group, and we were kind of discovering all this craziness of the live auctions and the possibilities that we could do online. And I'm not a guy that is on top of technology. And one day I was chatting with Joe, and he was and we had kind of the same idea at the same time. And Joe pitched the idea to me, do you want to do an auction or something? It was at the start of the pandemic, and we were like, yeah, because we're bored. There's nothing to do. There's no flea markets. How can you scratch that itch when you're a collector and you need some stuff? So all the stores were closed. The international shipping, it was shitty. So we said, yeah, let's do it. Terrible. Let's provide people some good entertainment and some good product, because we're not just there like to flash some stuff. We're there to have fun and have a good time, like speaking to ourselves for 3 hours looking at a screen. might as well have a good time, not just flash the item. So so Joe said to me, let's do it. And I said, well, I don't know how it works, all those Facebook Live and all that stuff. So he proposed himself, and he take it from there, Joe.
Yeah, so because I pitched the idea. I said, you know what? Unfortunately, right now we're in a pandemic, and this was at the very start, like JF just mentioned. And what can we do that's unique and different, that's no one has ever seen before in Canada? And I had been around looking at other pages in the US, and I had seen that the auctions were starting to kind of boil a little bit, and it was starting to become more and more popular as the months went on. So it was JF who said to me, he says, well, you know what? He says, why don't we do like a little survey? And I says, what are you talking about? He says, let's do a little survey, go live just for like 15-20 minutes, and just try and like feel everyone out and try and meet some new people, say hello to everyone, like who's in the group, who's in the page, like who's interested in seeing an auction. And so I was nervous as heck, to be honest with you. Like, honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know how to turn on and turn off the light. To be honest, I'm just staring at the screen. I'm seeing comments coming in, and I'm like, can you guys hear me? Like, what's going on here? Like, I had no idea what was happening.
I remember it lasted like about 3-4 minutes, and it was really quick. And all I wanted was like to know, how do you do it? Where do you press? And how is it done? Because a couple of days after that, I was live with my first auction, and it was like a 45-minute auction, and it was just crazy, the response, and all the members were really happy, and they wanted more. So the week after, we gave them another one, and the week after another one, and then the magazine night came around, and we did the Royal raffles, and then Joe's Wrestling Corner was born, and Joe had his own show, and we were like the Piper's Pit and the Snake Pit, and we were having we were having such fun going live and putting the music and doing jokes. So and now we're on our own on the page, because the group was fun. It was where we learned how to do this, and now the page is like you evolve. You take a step up, and that's where we are right now. We're not selling figures with loose arms or broken legs, or mock figures without the belts. We're trying to put on a show and sell some stuff where people get their money worth. So and my firehouse is where there's meat on the bone.
We're gonna talk about that.
the prices are very low at the start, and then it's out of my hands. It's up to you guys to decide what price it's gonna end.
Absolutely.
And where do you get your lines? Like the meat on the bone, shake. What's that?
Steaks and shakes.
Steaks and shakes.
Shakes.
It's like when you guys do your auctions. I love your auctions, but it's entertaining. It's like even if you're not there to like get anything, it's a show. It's just like the 3 hours.
That's what we want to do. It's a 3 hour, a 4 hour. It's a show from start to finish.
Sometimes I watch. I'm just watching for the entertaining because it's hilarious.
Hey, we did some things that I just can't believe that we did. Like I sang the Russian national anthem. I put at some point I was dressed up like Sergeant Slaughter, and we're singing, we're dancing, we're just having fun.
But one thing I have to say, it's a year and a half, later into since the auctions were born in Canada and everywhere, and the greatest thing is meeting such great people. That's the nice thing. I've met so many great people over the last year and a half, Big Red, including yourself and so many other great people, and it's just, man, there are so many nice people out there, and it's like and we really put on a show, as JF said, for them and to provide quality stuff, and like you said, even if you're not interested in purchasing something, but just watching the show is taking your mind off stuff. Everyone is stressed in their everyday life. We all have our things to worry about, and maybe watching myself or watching JF on a Monday night or a Friday night is making you laugh a bit, and hey guys, let's have a drink together, and it's so that's what we're trying to do, and what a journey so far.
And why a Monday night? Why a Friday night? Well, there's always a wrestling show every night, so you cannot choose a night where there's nothing. If it's not wrestling, it's gonna be football. So
hockey or whatever.
Because when I used to watch the product, the WWE, I was always on my phone doing other stuff, and I was watching wrestling with the corner of my eye,
True.
So I said to myself, let's go live on a Monday night. If people can watch the auction on their phone and watch Raw at the same time or do whatever they want, well, there you go. It's a win-win situation.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
There
I watch Raw and I watch you guys.
Yeah. So
I have my TV on mute and I have you guys on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't want to limit ourselves to Quebec or Canada. That's why with the page with LWA, we're worldwide, and we got people from the States, we got people from Europe, and everybody are saying that we have great personalities and our show is really cool. We have great prices and such a variety of product that they can't go wrong watching a show. Everybody gets what they want. If it's comics, magazines, or autograph stuff, 8x10s, to figures, to T-shirts or other memorabilia, we got a bit of everything to for everybody's pleasure.
And you guys are only on Facebook, right?
Only on Facebook, yeah.
Only on Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not on top of technology, so if someone can help me out with that.
At least you're honest.
It's interesting because you asked us earlier, like, where do you get your lines and your catchphrases, and a lot of stuff is just comes like we kind of wing it. It's on the fly, on the spot. Some of it is thought through, but some of it is like, hey, that's pretty good. I like that line. Like the Jeff, I'm sure you remember the no love. First time you heard that, the no love.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like on the spot. So. And it works, and a lot of people like it, so we go with it, like the 60 and all that. So
what about the 60? Yeah, talk about the 60, Joe.
I was gonna ask you that. How did that come from?
How did that start? Oh man, okay.
Because it's hilarious. I beg for people to go to 60 just for. I'm like, go to 60. And
it's exactly. So you're waiting for members to go to 60 or. Absolutely. Well, it started about, I would say a little bit more than a year ago. Was, I would say, probably the summertime, June, July. And it was JF who was live. And so he was auctioning off a mock Jack's Undertaker
Can't
WWF
believe
superstar.
he remembers what figures.
Well,
detail. This guy has detailed memory.
Yeah.
That's how it started. So that's how we know. But I mean, so he was just auctioning it off, and I forget what he started at, but I think the item was at $40, and then all of a sudden there was a member that out of nowhere jumped to 60. So obviously, he wasn't expecting that. So he's got the item like this, and he's like, okay, can I get like $40 or $45 or whatever? And he's like, zooming into the screen, and he's like, 60. Like he was like, whoa, 60. 60. Okay, 60. Like, so then I called him. I called him the same night after the show, and I said, hey, I like that 60. He says, what are you talking about? So I said, I like the way you say it, 60, and then it just became like one thing after another. And now it's gone to the point, like you see, like, JF on the show goes boom after he does the 60, like now like we're twerking it around a little bit, where we're adding some spices to the 60,
Even the boom, it was spontaneous. And the day after, someone told me, hey, what's up with the boom? And I was like, well, what are you saying with the boom? You said 60 boom. And I said, yeah, let me watch that again. So I went back to the auction. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's do it again. And I was like, 60 boom.
There's somebody commenting 60.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So we want the members to trigger it, because it's our happy number.
Yeah, and along with the catchphrases like steaks and shake, meat on the bone, steals and deals, no love. What else we got? All day long. So we got
so many things. It's all spontaneous. Like, it's all happening on the show. Steaks and shakes. That's from a member, from Peter Ambrosini, that we were saying. Yes. Let's do an SNS, like a sip and a switch, just to get a sip and switch the product, an SNS. And he went, SNS works also for steaks and shakes, because there's lots of meat on the bone. So
I love that one.
It's funny. Every member are participating into the lives. Like, we're saying that we're talking to ourselves for 3 hours, but it's not true.
No, it's not.
Exactly. No, but that's the story of the 60. That's how it all started. So it was just out of nowhere, like 60. Wow, so, and we ran with it, and it's a year later, it's a thing. It's incredible. So,
do you know how many members your group has, your page has?
A little over 700 right now, and it's been like 3-4 months.
3-4 months. That's amazing, guys.
3-4 months. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
It shows how hard you guys work on your craft, because it is a craft. Because anyone could go and $5, but you guys 60. You guys do a show.
We've seen lots of people go live, and it's not that it's boring or anything, but when you're putting on a show, let's put on a show. Let's be all out, and have fun, not just show the figure and
the thing is that you have to see through the eyes of your viewer. Okay, I mean, he's probably had a hard day. He wants to have a drink. Okay, for example, after a long day's work. In addition, they want to get fired up when they bid on something. So I mean, it is definitely a show, and we try to put the best show possible. I think we've done a pretty good job so far. I mean,
amazing.
It's a lot of work, John. Big Red. It's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. It's not just 3 hours live.
No, of course not.
A couple of weeks. It's 10-15 hours of work every week to research the product, to buy some lots, to prepare for the live. And all the logistic after that, because you got local member that comes in to pick up their stuff. We need to ship some packages, so there's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah,
it's a full day. It's a full day work. Our work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember last year my wife went on vacation in August, and I was like, I can't go with you because I had so much on my plate, and I had like to redo a bit of my, not the firehouse, but the back room of it. So it looks like a back room for you guys to have all your little boxes with the name, so I can put the magazines and all your stuff that you're buying, because sometimes I ship just once a month for you guys to make it worth it to ship, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be organized, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's thinking things through, and not only is it a lot of work, like JF said, but it's also the entertainment aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to sell stuff, but you also want to put on a good show for your members and for your customers and all that. So I think and it's yeah.
And I challenge everyone out there to try and have a couple drinks, be live for 3 hours, and not pee on yourself.
Yeah,
That's the hardest part, because sometimes you're like, oh, are we done yet? And we're not even halfway there, but you need to hold it. You need to hold it in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want to rush the main event. You want to show
Yeah.
the last piece of the night, but sometimes it's anything can happen. So
When I say firestorm out at the end of the show, you can count to 10, and I'm outside the firehouse.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
a good one.
God.
That's a good one. Oh, man.
What was the highest bid you guys remember on your auctions?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I recently had one a couple of weeks ago. It was a Hogan Buddy that finished at like $575. So
Wow.
yeah, that was that was a nice piece. I mean, I had a little battle for that one. It ended up finishing at $575. The two great guys that were bidding after that item, and they were really serious about it. So yeah, I recently had one a couple of weeks ago, actually.
Yeah, that's fun. I had a few at around 500 or 600 that I remember, but you're flashing stuff sometimes at even $1,000, and you don't get bids. Sometimes it's okay to flash some stuff, but you cannot expect that people are going to bid, that they have the money ready in their pocket.
Yeah,
it's still pandemic for everybody. Everybody's working hard for their money, and you're flashing stuff at $1,000. I mean, it's fun to see for everybody, but the next day you still have the item, and of course there's a thing we call aftershocks.
Aftershocks, yeah.
The main show is the how can you say it, the earthquake itself. Mm-hmm. And after we get aftershocks, because people are sleeping on it. They're thinking of what they didn't get and what haven't sold, and they're reaching out, and everything that we've showed since the beginning of our lives, even if it doesn't sell on the screen, it sells the next day or the week after. So we've been
off the air,
we've been really privileged to be part of that great page, and all the members are really really awesome.
Does that happen often? The aftershock?
It happens every time.
Oh yeah.
Every auction.
Well, I didn't know that. I just learned something new.
Yeah, we got tremors too. Sometimes when
tremors,
we buy the lot, and we flash a couple pictures to members there, so they can buy prior to the main show. And
you don't say.
Yeah, sometimes.
I know.
So a few tremors. We got the earthquake, and we got the aftershocks.
all rolled into one.
Are you guys planning to? Because I think it was a couple of weeks ago, you guys did the Mountie was at your local
And it was here in my yard in front of the firehouse, mid July, a month ago.
Are you guys planning into the? Is that something going to be often, or is it just like a one-time thing?
Well, LWA was new at the time, and I wanted to do something out of the usual equation, and the signing was really something that we needed for the page to grow, and was really a good experience. So of course you were going to see more of those kind of shows and signings, but I can't tell you now who we're talking to, but make sure to tune on LWA quite often to know the latest news.
I think the day overall went very well with our first signing with Jacques. I mean, we were all kind of nervous that day. It was the first time doing a live virtual signing, and I was broadcasting the whole live for almost 2 hours, and and like the comments were just flying in, like, I want to let her B, I want to let her C, and did this one get signed, and please give him a shout out, and we had people from all over the world, Boston, Austria, United Kingdom, Virginia, everywhere in the world, and and Jacques too. It was the first time that he was doing that. So, really? It was first time ever for him doing virtual signing. He was so impressed with everything that he saw, and so it was kind of nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, but I think overall the day went very well, and so like JF said, we are currently working on our next talent. So.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot of work backstage, and when you're doing a signing, it's not just 10, 12 hours of research and do this and that and you do the live show, a live signing, like 6 weeks of going back and forth with the publicity messages, make sure that you don't miss a beat, 6 weeks of work, and when you're already working 40-50 hours a week with your regular job, it's not easy to blend with everything else. You got the evenings and the weekends, but sometimes you need a bit more. So
absolutely.
On your personal collection, is there like one piece that that, because there's some parts of your collection that you will sell one day, right?
Oh, I'm gonna sell it all. But not today.
But do you guys have like one piece that it's never gonna leave your place?
Jeff, you want to go first?
No, that's a tricky question. There's so many things, Big Red, that we cherish, and it's not just the thing itself; it's the memory that goes with it. Because lots of stuff. I mean, we're doing conventions. We're going to New York, to Philly, to New Jersey, to Toronto. We're out there with the workers, and we're having fun with everybody. And sometimes you just get a piece at $2, but it's not worth anything. But on a personal level, the story that goes with it, the memory, that's what you need to cherish.
Because every signature, every picture, everything has a story. Like, for example, the time when I'm sure you remember the time we were out with Rock and Roll Express. So I mean, everything has a memory, and so probably those things, I would say, for me, I wouldn't get rid of those fond memories of getting in the car, having good laughs, going on a road trip back and forth, great experience, possibly getting a drink with one or two of the workers too, so like we've done with Marty in the past. So I think it would be probably those things that mean a lot. So absolutely, for sure. And that's one thing, like, and I know JF would probably agree with me on this. That's one thing, like, I really miss now is conventions, like, just, it's been a long time since everything's happened, everything's gone down. And, of course the borders are still closed as we speak. So that's one thing I really miss, being out there, with your buddies and having a great time for the day and sharing more laughs, more stories, more memories together. And it's unbelievable. We've been very blessed the last 6 or 7 years with everyone we've seen. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, before we close, I just want to thank you guys again.
Thank you.
It was a privilege and an honor. And
Pleasure is ours.
Before we close, when is your next 2 shows or your next events?
Go ahead, Joe.
All right. So we have the Mega Magazine Night. That's the next show. It's Sunday night, August 29th at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it's for all the magazine fans out there. There won't be any figures, being auctioned off or any 8x10s, or it's just really magazines. But there could be some signed magazines, for example. So it's just a magazine night. So, and it's a Mega Magazine Night. So it's going to be a big show. We might be live for close to 4 hours Sunday night. So that's going to be a big one.
We'll put it by here. We don't know how it's going to go. So
exactly.
It's going to start at 7 p.m. for sure.
7 p.m. And then I know that Jeff, the day after that is
August 30th. So we will be in the firehouse once again to kick out August and kick in September with back to school and everything. So let's do a auction with Hulk Hogan Rock and Roll Wrestling theme. So I'm gonna have a main event with a really rare piece that I'm gonna show you guys on on top of that, like the usual Hasbros, LJNs, we're gonna have Jacks, some Mattels, some crazy pieces, of course. And we try to rotate the stuff, not to have always the same things. And when we show a piece week after week, and it's always the same thing, it's not fun for everybody. So we're trying to rotate the stuff. So don't miss it. It's on Facebook.com/LWA Live Wrestling Auctions.
Once again, thank you guys. Wish you all the best, and for many, many, many more years of this beautiful, beautiful work you guys are doing.
Thank you so much,
sir. And you're always welcome in the firehouse. No $5 fee for you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, Big Rat. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Firestorm out.
Yes, sir. We are out.
We are out.